Hello and good afternoon. My name is Mauricio Ramos and I am Senior Management Specialization student at the Military University. Today I want to talk to you about the article Tourism and Renewable Energies in South Asia, a panel study by Sakib bin Amin and Farhan Khan, with acceptance date August 24, 2021. The main source of this article is related to national tourism that helps the economy of a country, mainly generating employment, income, and poverty reduction. On the other hand, there is the issue of energy that it's a family basket service for all the countries and in which there are also renewable and clean energies. In summary, the lack of energy will affect tourism in terms of hotels, services, among of other things. For example, for Colombia, which is still a very green country, we find a wide variety of ecotourism, which has various applications depending of the geographic area in which it is. These tourist attractions offers a range of possibilities for people who wants to visit it. Additionally, this attracts foreign investment in terms of hotel chains willing to serve travelers. Additionally, being on the side of tourism will generate different vacancies that will be covered by nationals for the most part. Therefore, in the income levels of these people will also increase and therefore the quality of the life and their families. Additionally, an entire economic ecosystem is created that will activate more things. For example, that people have income, it will generate an increase in purchasing in the other sectors such as food, education, textiles, among others, which in turn will have to cover their vacancies with more people to meet all the demand that is beginning to grow. Here, there are also other types of positions, such as guides, who are specialists in fauna and flora, to be able to give more precise tours and that can show much more history that can be offered online. Located, since we have many thermal floors, include beach, snow-capped mountains, rivers, forests, jungles, among others. Now, although the occupation of this country increases, the consumption of resources also increases. In this specific case, the consumption of energy will increase. We understand that these resources generates not only lighting, but internal and external, but many things depends of it such as the operation of power plants, air conditioners, even the very share of their smartphones to be able to save all the possible memories for their trip, which can become a value that it's not economical but sentimental for the people. And as we see first, it depends of the device being powered to work. Let's talk about clean energy. The current energy process in Colombia comes from 63.7 of water resource, while 31.5 comes the thermal resource such as gas, coal, and fuels. As can be seen, it requires a complex system to be able to supply the energy resources, especially in the main cities such as Bogota, Medellin, Cali, among others. The, this system clearly generates a cost that could be considered very high if we can take into account that we have other services that are much cheaper. For example, in the case of the Department of Magdalena and surrounding areas, energy consumption can generate excessive values in terms of cost that can clearly exceed 300,000 pesos per month. This is a very high cost for people who don't have the same level of income as other types of cities. Therefore, the implementation of clean energy will not only allow a considerable drop in their monthly payment, but will also allow a lot of independence from the state. Take it into account that solar panels can be implemented sufficient to meet the punctual need and Samarian households. Additionally, the system of power outages will be improved. which is a constant problem in this part of the country and is clearly controllable since the companies simply report that it's normal and are working to restore the service. On the other hand, and returning to the topic of terms, there is also the growth of the gross domestic product. By being able to receive people from several countries who not only travel to get now, but also consume in local currency along the way, which in our case can be very good, taking into account the valuation of the peso or compared to the other currencies. This allows activation of the economy in many sectors, which will increase this indicator to the end of the year. However, not everything is fine. There is a variable to consider, and it is the environmental degradation that could result from the excessive storage and that cannot be recovered. We speak of the environmental degradation and reduction of the natural beauty of the environments, in addition to increase in pollution in scenarios such as lakes, rivers, and seas, which is why it's important to take part of these incomes in order to mitigate the impact generated by tourism. Finally, and to close, I would like to conclude that tourism is a great source of income, but that it must be managed responsibly, apply the income in all possible scenarios to avoid pollution and last reduce it. In addition, electricity plays a fundamental role in the entire development of tourism. Therefore, there is not a better way to reduce part of this pollution than to use clean energy, which is a gain for any economy, and since it better and much cheaper. Thanks and good night.